Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back at long last to some Warhammer 40k 9th edition. God, it's been a while. It's been a little while. Things have changed. Obviously, you can see the room I'm in is different now. I've got hobby vlog episodes out about all that stuff, so I won't talk about it now. For suffice to say, we're playing some 40k 9th edition at long last again. It is going to be a solo Hammer battle report for this one. I do have a vague date penciled in for my next battle report that I'm going to film with Dan. For those of you who are fans of Mr. Redtooth and his various orcs and tyranids and admech shenanigans. As well as once we're, now we're sort of on the home stretch getting out of this damn pandemic. Get all the usual suspects back on the channel doing battle reports and stuff. I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. It's going to be good fun. But today is indeed Solohammer. If you're new to these and you don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, basically during the midst of either lockdown 2 or 3 in this country, I forget which, I started playing some solo games of 40k where I control both armies, try to roleplay it as much as possible and not, concern myself too much about playing efficiently or competitively or worrying about who was going to win, because it was always going to be me, what with it being Solohammer and stuff. So I started doing it in lockdown, mostly as a means of getting my 40k fix in, and I also filmed some Solohammer bat raps, and the response to them was astonishingly good. People really, really, really enjoyed them, mostly to my surprise, frankly. And so I set about making some more, and this is another one. This is continuing a kind of narrative that we've had ongoing now in some previous battle reports on the planet of Abakhan Epsilon, where the forces of Chaos are battling the forces of the Acheron Crusade fleet of the Imperium. And in the last few battles, what happened, as a quick recap, was Chaos had the upper hand. They were advancing on all fronts. The Imperial Guard clashed with some of the word bearers at an old abandoned supply munitions bunker and were swiftly seen off by the heretics. The heretics won the day there, led by the sorcerer known as Lachesis. Following that, we went to the Church of Saint Sebastien, which was under siege by more word bearers led by the Dark Apostle Corvaric. And that's where they fought the Sisters of the Divine Hammer. And the Sisters of the Divine Hammer bonked Corvaric squarely in the face. They saw him running away in his Land Raider, tail between his legs, with the siege on the city lifted, and the church successfully defended. We now go several hundred miles, possibly, behind enemy lines, that is to say, behind the Chaos lines, where all is not well. There is not domestic bliss, shall we say, among the Chaos ranks at the moment. There's been a few disagreements. We find ourselves at the ruins of a destroyed manufactorum, fancy pig Latin name for a factory. That would be this building here. And we find ourselves at this place because it has become a makeshift outpost for some of the Chaos Space Marine warbands in the area. As you can see, there's kind of a vague defensive barricade that's been set up all the way around the sides of this place. As you can see, some unfortunate space wolves attempted to drop pod in here at some point and presumably didn't survive the encounter because nobody's been here to recover the pods. However, we're in this manufactorum over here, which has been thoroughly destroyed, as you can see. However, inside this manufactorum has been discovered a very rare and very valuable cache of vortex grenades. Now, vortex grenades are not a thing that's in the game these days, actually, now I think about it, but they certainly used to be a thing, and essentially they're a grenade that you throw it, and it explodes open a little warp rift, which sucks anything unfortunate enough to be within its radius into it, and causes lots and lots and lots of havoc. Probably no surprise that they're not in the game anymore, I suppose. You had to use the old template marker things for them and stuff. They were jolly good fun. But anyway, the Chaos Marines have found some vortex grenades here. And vortex grenades are quite valuable and rare, apparently, these days. So they're dead keen on having them. Problem is, there's 2 warbands here. There's a warband of word bearers hanging around, skulking around the place, who want to get their hands on it. And there's also a warband of Black Legion that want their hands on it. Now, these 2 warbands have been sort of at odds with each other in the past, but for the moment they've been sort of convenient allies as this push against the forces of the Imperium on Abakhan Epsilon has gone ahead. As long as Chaos has been winning, these two have managed to put their differences aside and work together for the greater cause of wishing death upon the false Emperor. However, lately things haven't gone quite so well for the forces of Chaos. The screw up at the Church of Saint Sebastien, news has gotten around, and the Black Legionnaires here have decided, you know what, I think we deserve these vortex grenades a lot more than you stupid word bearers do. Look what you just got yourselves into. You've ruined everything. You had to try and take that stupid church just because the Imperials and their religion stuff. And now you've gone and ruined everything. We're having to retreat, we're having to fall back, the front's moving backwards again, we're losing, we're having these vortex grenades ourselves. I don't think we can trust you with them. And of course the word bearers are having none of that. So there's going to be a battle today between the two premier sort of undivided legions, I suppose. The two legions that have the closest claim, I suppose, to being the sole beneficiaries of the pantheon of Chaos undivided. The old guard being the word bearers of Lorgar, and the new guys, of course, being the Black Legion led by Abaddon, who bears the mark of Chaos Ascendant, of course. So there's plenty of reasons for these two legions to hate each other, and it's going to bubble over today into outright conflict between these two particular warbands. So we're going to have a bit of chaos on chaos today, or we love a bit of chaos on chaos action. Not that we've had any on the channel so far to date. I don't think we have. Except for that one Alpha Legion battle report that got a bit weird at the end. With the exception of that, we haven't had any chaos on the channel before, which is a damn shame, because chaos versus chaos is always such good fun. I love it. I think probably the only thing that beats it is probably orcs versus orcs. Now that I think about it, I love a bit of intra-chaos conflict. It's good stuff. So that's what we're going to have today. This, as you can see, is the encampment around the abandoned manufactorum. The vortex grenades are in here somewhere. I'm going to place an objective marker down for that. But before we go any further, why don't we go take a look at these two warbands that are going to be squaring off against each other today. Alright, here we go, starting with the Black Legion. Now, it's an incursion level game today. About 670 points approximately, I think it was in the end. I know that's a bit of a strange number, but basically I had a battle scribe open and I was just adding units and models until I felt I was happy with the force that I wanted, and then I just did the same for the other side. So, yes, a nice, even and not at all bizarre 670 points of Black Legion, led by an exalted champion over here, who doesn't have a name yet. Maybe he will someday, if he earns one. But he is an exalted champion armed with a plasma pistol and a power fist. He is the warlord, obviously, for the Black Legion. It's a patrol detachment, so he's the only character in it. And as an exalted champion, he's not quite like a Chaos Lord. He doesn't have the durability of a Chaos Lord, but he is punchier. He can reroll all failed hit rolls against characters. He and anything within 6 inches of him get to reroll wound rolls in close combat. In addition, he has the Black Legion specific warlord trait, Black Armored Brute, which I believe means he adds +1 to his strength. So I think when he fights with his power fist, it's going to be at strength 10. He's going to be like an orc knob. That's pretty dope. Who says dope these days? I don't know where that came from. I apologise. That's pretty cool, though. And in addition to that, he has the relic, which is... I can't check it without actually stopping the recording and going to look in Battlescribe. But I think it's called, horrifying trophies or something. Basically, there's this boss pole thing on his back there. I know, it's another orky term. The big spiky thing with heads on it, that is going to be essentially his relic today. And what it does is it gives everyone within... every Black Legion model within 6 inches of him, including himself, +1 leadership. And within 6 inches, enemy units get -1 leadership. Now, because Black Legion get +1 leadership in general anyway, that means he's going to be leadership 10. He's leadership Necron. That's pretty cool. So this guy's not running away anytime soon. Not that he would, he's a character, so he can't do morale tests. But even if he did, he wouldn't be failing him anytime soon. As for the Black Legion themselves, their army trait, which is the first time I'm using it today, this is the Black Legion army that I've never used before, so that's going to be fun. Their Legion trait is Black Crusaders. They get +1 leadership across the board, and when they advance, they can treat rapid-fire weapons as assault weapons. So a rapid-fire 1 weapon, like a bolt gun, for example, would be considered an assault 1 weapon if they advance. So they can fire 1 shot at full range with -1 to hit, like a regular assault weapon, having advanced, which is neat. That's not bad. It's actually one of the better traits as the old Chaos Marine 8th edition codex goes, frankly, so that's not too bad. The force consists of 3 Chaos Space Marine warbands here. This one led by an Inspiring Champion with a Power Fist. They've got a las cannon in there, and the rest of them are armed with bolt guns. This one is a close combat oriented little warband led by a dude with a power sword. Everyone else has got chain swords and bolt pistols, and this guy has a melter gun. They, incidentally, are going to have the Mark of Khorne. Within Black Legion warbands, you'll find lots of units devoted to particular gods, unlike with the Word Bearers. And these guys worship Khorne. The only thing that means, basically, is I can use the Khorne stratagem on them if I want to make them fight twice in the fight phase. Warband number 3 is led by an Aspiring Champion who just has a bolt pistol and a bolt gun. He's the most basic possible loadout, just because that's what his model seems to have. The rest of the guys in his warband have bolt guns, and we have a guy with a missile launcher as well at the back there too. We also have 4 bikers. Now, in my mind, these guys are basically returning from a scouting patrol outside of the perimeter of the outpost here, and they're going to be on their way back in when trouble starts to erupt. Each of them has a combi bolter, each of them has a chainsword. The one with the red top knot is the champion, and they are going to have the Mark of Slaanesh, because in my mind, Slaanesh is the god of motorcycles. He's the god of many other things too, but if there is one god in the Chaos Pantheon that is the god of motorcycles, it's Slaanesh, in my opinion. So they are Slaaneshi Chaos Bikers. And that's the warband. Nice and simple. Not much to say, really. I do enjoy playing low point level games of 40k, I have to be honest with you. A part of it is nostalgia, because it reminds me of back in the day, back in my 3rd and 4th edition days when I played lots and lots of low point games, because that was all I could afford in terms of actual miniatures. So lots of low level point games were played, and I don't know, I've always just found low level point games of 40k a little bit more engaging for some reason. They don't ever outstay their welcome. They get a little bit more tactical. But, topic for another time. Let's have a look at the Word Bearers. Alright, here they are. The first heretics, the bearers of the word. Led by my Chaos Lord Tal Ezra, with his Thunder Hammer and his Combi Melter. Now, he doesn't whack quite as hard in close combat as that Exalted Champion over there for the Black Legion does, but he's quite durable. He has an extra wound, I believe. He also has a 4+ invulnerable save, but he also has a Word Bearer's Relic from Faith and Fury that I'm desperately trying to remember the name of. It's the something crown. The accursed crown, the crown of the traitor, something like that, as a crown. He's modelled on his miniature without his helmet, but obviously when he goes into battle he would wear a helmet, and his helmet on this occasion is some sort of magic sorceress. Awesome helmet that improves his invulnerable save by 1, so he has a 3+ invulnerable save, and in addition to that, it lowers the morale of enemies within 6 inches of him by 1, so it's a bit like the relic the Black Legion fella has in that respect. So any enemies within 6 inches of Tal Ezra will have -1 leadership, because he's a scary bloke apparently. As for the rest of his warband, they are word bearers. Their Legion trait is reroll morale tests. It is what it is. He has with him a group of 5 possessed, because, you know, word bearers, they do love their possessed, led by Jadar, the Greater Possessed, who's well, I'd say a pal of Tal Ezra's, but, you know, the closest thing Chaos Marines get to pals. Additionally, we have 3 Chaos Space Marine squads, an awful lot like the Black Legion. It's almost as if I deliberately made this game largely symmetrical in the hopes that it would actually be quite a close and interesting game. One small warband of 5, led by a champion with a power axe. They've also got a missile launcher, the rest of them have bolt guns. We have one warband which is a bit of a mix of bolters and chainswords, and a dude with a flamer, and a champion with a power fist. And the final warband has got everyone with bolters, a champion with a hammer that's going to count as a power fist, because I can't give aspiring champions thunder hammers, sadly. That's Chaos Lords only for some reason. And they've got a pair of plasma guns, and they have an icon of vengeance, which gives the unit +1 leadership, so that'll boost them up to 9 leadership. Pretty much putting that squad at least on par with the Black Legionnaires. So, yeah, that's pretty simple. His Warlord trait. Tal Ezra's Warlord trait. His Warlord... Did I remember to pick a Warlord trait for him? 1 minute, I'm going to have to check this. Alright, it turns out I actually did forget to give him Warlord trait. Whoops. His Warlord trait is Unholy Fortitude. That's the one that suits him best. He has an extra wound and a 6-up ignore damage. So really tying into the theme that he's a tougher opponent than his counterpart over here, but will not output nearly as much damage in close combat. Now, the mention of wounds brings me on to an important point. As far as both of these warbands are concerned, all the Chaos Marines in them have got an extra wound, except for the Possessed. They're still going to be on 2 wounds, because that's how they are in the new Death Guard Codex. I say new Death Guard Codex, it's not that new anymore. The newish Death Guard Codex, Possessed still only have 2 wounds in it, but for the rest of them they're going to have an extra wound, because Loyalist Marines have 2 wounds in 40k at the moment, and for some truly bizarre reason, many months later, Games Workshop still haven't updated Chaos Marines to have an extra wound as well. So I'm doing it myself. And since this is a Chaos versus Chaos battle, I haven't needed to do any weird maths with the points to sort of make it work. We're just going to say everybody's got an extra wound. So that means that Tal Ezra will actually start on 7 wounds, thanks to Unholy Fortitude. The rest of his Chaos Marine buddies will have 2 wounds each, including the Possessed. Jadar, the Greater Possessed, I can't remember how many wounds they start with, but he'll have an extra one as well. And, yeah, I think that's everything there is to say. The mission! Let's have a look at the mission. Alright, the objective is the prize. No matter how much blood is shed, how many lives lost or hardships endured, nothing else matters but to seize the prize. Place an objective marker in the centre of the battlefield, in like that. An infantry model can pick up the prize by ending any kind of move on the objective marker. Remove that objective marker from the battlefield. The model is now carrying the prize. The model can drop the prize at any time and must drop it if destroyed. If it is dropped by a player's model, their opponent places an objective marker within 1 inch of the model that dropped it. The player whose model is carrying the prize at the end of the 5th battle round is the winner. Otherwise, the player controlling the objective marker at the end of the 5th battle round is the winner. Failing that, the battle is a draw. So, that's the objective, basically. It's a case of getting them vortex grenades and legging it with them, essentially, because that's what everybody here actually cares about. So the Black Legion and Wordbearers are going to be running around trying to grab this case of vortex grenades. And this is the deployment. Bit of an odd one. It's sort of pointing arrows towards each other, and actually it starts they can start incredibly close to each other in the middle of the table. And I picked this deployment zone specifically because we've got the vortex grenades in the middle, and then probably some Chaos Marines and some Word Bearers facing off in the middle, you know, both arguing over who's going to get them. For the twist, we have hatred. Seething enmity drives your forces to rid the galaxy of a hated foe. When making an attack against the closest enemy unit, reroll a wound of 1. That applies to every model on the table, because these Black Legion and these Word Mirrors, they hate each other. They really hate each other. If you've watched some of my Storytime lore videos and stuff I've done from the Word Bearers, you'll know that Tal Ezra in particular hates the Black Legion. He really doesn't like them at all, and I'm sure the feeling is quite mutual. So the twist today is hatred. So I'll get everything set up, and the deployment is going to be a bit weird for this one. I'm not going to be totally adhering to this card right here, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. Alright folks, we are deployed. Let's take a closer look. So I'm at the no, I'm not. I'm at the Black Legion side of the table at the moment. And as you can see over here in the middle, the Manufactorum, this is where the Vortex Grenades are, as represented by that little card token right there. That's the objective, that's the prize. Facing off almost directly against one another right in the middle, probably ensuring that there is going to be some definite bloodshed on turn 1 of this game, is a unit of Chaos Space Marines. It's the Mark of Khorne guys with the chainswords on one side, and it's the Word Bearers possessed with Jadar on the other side. Where's Jadar gone? Oh, he's there. I just couldn't see him because he was side on and his profile looks different. There we go. So those two are squaring off against each other. They've been told by their respective leaders, keep an eye on those Vortex Grenades. Don't let the enemy get too close to them. Over here, we've got a pair of Word Bearer squads. One up at the top of this ruined building, another down in the street below. Opposite them, we have a unit of Black Legionnaires. Been pottering around near this crashed drop pod. Possibly looting it. Who knows. We have over here the unit of bikers that's returning from their patrol. I say patrol, thinly veiled excuse to go just charging around the local countryside, ravaging the place and doing unspeakable acts of horror upon the local population. They're on their way back. Now, I grant you, as a Black Legion player, the sensible thing to do with these bikers would have been to place them right up in the middle here. Hope you get turn 1, grab the objective with the bikers, and then just leg it as fast as you can. And that is my cat playing with the charger cable. That's going to be an issue. I've tried telling him not to, but he's not listening. He just sees a dangly thing and he's like, I want it. I offered him his fish. Not interested in fish. Just want the cable. I mean, it's got this protective anti... Oh, no, now you're interested in fish. There you go. See, that's better. Good boy. Anyway, catch interruptions aside, the sensible thing would be to put these guys in the middle so they can grab the prize and then just drive away as fast as they can. Because if these guys advance, they automatically advance 6 inches, so they can move 20 inches in a turn, and the Word Bearers would never be able to catch them. However, this isn't about playing the most efficient way possible. This is a Solohammer battle report, so it is therefore about basically generating a story with the help of dice and some very overpriced miniatures. That's really what we're about here. So that's why I've not done that with the bikes. I've put them here, where they would be, narratively, in my head, just returning back. Probably got a Vox radio call in from whoever it is around here, maybe the leader over there, or one of the other leaders of these other little warbands that basically said, right, it's about to kick off back at base. You should get back here pronto. And so they have. They've just jumped over this barricade and are about to drive straight back into the middle of the compound. Elsewhere over there, we have another unit of Wordbearer Chaos Space Marines who I like to think have just piled out of that building over there as they started to hear outside things were getting a little bit rowdy. Up here on these two guard towers, we have another unit of Black Legionnaires that have been up there on watch, just sort of observing the entire situation. And last but not least, over here in this bunker, and I've decided to sort of use my dungeon wall pieces, stuck them upside down so it's got the black bit on the top to represent a cutaway of this bunker building. Inside here we have Tal Ezra and we have the currently nameless Black Legion Exalted Champion who've been in this bunker arguing for quite some time, and it's just around this point where the argument starts to turn quite literally violent. Just outside, we have their respective bodyguards. We have one possessed marine, that's Tal Ezra's bodyguard, and a pair of Chaos Marines, one with a bolter, one with a chainsword, that serve as the Exalted Champion's bodyguard. And they're both waiting outside for these two to finish. But what's going to happen is, in a second I'm going to roll off, and essentially what we're going to do is we're going to find out of which of these two in here, who shoots first. We're going to roll off, whoever wins gets to go first, or choose to go second if they want to. Probably won't though. And we'll find out who started this Barney, and then as soon as these guys have their, kick off, things will quickly escalate. The bodyguards outside will start fighting, and then it'll all start kicking off out here. Both of these two units will obviously have their orders that if things start to get violent, immediately grab those vortex grenades and see if you can hightail it out of here with them. So that's the deployment. As I said, it's breaking the rules a little bit because this is outside of both sides' deployment zones. This is effectively in no man's land here, this little bit. The bodyguards here, I've taken them from other squads in the respective armies. So these aren't added on extra. I've just removed them, and these two together will be a little unit of 2, and he's a little unit of 1 by himself. So there we go. That's the setup. That's the deployment. Let's roll off to see who goes first. Who started this brawl? Was it the Word Bearers, or was it the Black Legion? Turns out the Black Legion started it. They get a 6 to the Word Bearers 2. So the Black Legion will be going first, and that Exalted Champion is going to be the one who throws the first punch. Alright folks, it's the end of Black Legion turn 1 movement phase, and I apologise if there was a bit of background noise in the previous clip. It's because I had the ceiling fan on. Also, there's some background noise over there because the cat wants to get in. But I'm not going to let him in right now because I'm busy and he keeps trying to run away with models. Anyway, so this is what's happened. And everything's about to get a little wibbly wobbly here with the timings, because really what's going to happen first is the Exalted Champion in there. He's going to fire his plasma pistol at Tal Ezra, which is then what prompts the rest of this to happen. So just outside, we have the 2 Black Legion bodyguards running up towards this lone Word Bearer possessed, hoping to kill him nice and quickly. The Chaos Marines that were up on this watchtower thing here have leaped down and then advanced 5 inches over in this direction, over towards the Manufactorum. Inside the old factory itself, this squad of Black Legionnaires has run up to secure the vortex grenades. You can just see the objective marker under those guys there. And also imminently shoot and charge at those possessed right in front of them. Over here on the right hand side, this unit of Chaos Marines has come out from behind these crates, headed towards the enemy. And the bikers have moved their full 14 inches over to here, and they're going to open fire with their combi bolters, probably at the guys down there in the street. Mostly because the chaps up there are, you know, they're in cover. They'll have 2+ saves, which is a bit awkward if you've got lots of AP0 weapons like these guys do. So, yeah, that's the movement phase. Pretty simple. We're going to begin the shooting phase now. The psychic phase has obviously been observed, but there's no psychers in either army today. So we're going to go straight into the shooting phase, and we're going to begin with the Exalted Champion firing his plasma pistol at Tal Ezra, not overcharging it because he's pretty confident he doesn't need to resort to such drastic measures because he reckons he can take Tal Ezra in a fist fight. Specifically a power fist fight, but anyway. Let's roll it over here next to the actual fight. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Right, here he goes. I believe Exalted Champion's hit on a 3+ with shooting. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he misses. Tal Ezra ducks just in time. The plasma shot lodges over in the wall behind him there. And it's going to have to be resolved in close quarters, apparently. Just outside, the 2 bodyguards close in on the possessed. 2 shots from the bolt gun, 1 shot from the bolt pistol. 2 misses, 1 hit. It's going to wound on a 4+. It doesn't wound. Okay, the possessed takes a bolt shell round in the face, but shrugs it off. A combination of his demonic flesh and his power armor protecting him quite handily there. Right, next up, this squad of Chaos Marines that advanced sent a couple of bolter shots downrange at those Word Bearers, but only firing single shots and also having a -1 to hit for advancing meant that, and of course they could still fire them being Black Legion even though they advanced. They unfortunately only got 1 hit and failed to wound with that hit. Actually, it was an abysmal roll. They rolled loads of 1s and 2s. It was quite unusual. I decided not to film it because I thought bolter fire is a bit boring, and then suddenly the unluckiest dice roll of bolter fire I've ever seen happened. So Go figure. Anyway, I'm trying to keep the dice rolling like that out, just to speed up the whole filming process here, really. And because personally, when I'm watching battle reports, I don't like too much dice rolling. I like to see crucial dice rolls, but too much and I start to switch off. Maybe I would just have a very low attention span, but that's just me, so that's the way I'd like to do my battle reports. Next up, though, is going to be all of these Chaos Marines letting loose with bolt pistols and associated weapons into the possessed directly in front of them. And I think I'm going to play Veterans of the Long War for a single command point on this, just to give them +1 to wound. So, bolt pistols at the ready, gentlemen. And I think that melter gun can also see some word bearers as well. So he'll be throwing in with them. In fact, let's do the melter gun first. Because why not? 3+ to hit. He hits. Let's see, 2 to wound. He wounds. Possessed, being demonic, do have a 5+ invulnerable save, which they don't pass. D6 damage, and I think we're in melter range at this point. Possibly. Yeah, I'm going to say probably are. That looks like 6 inches, right? So, pick the highest. 5 damage. That is 1 very, very dead. Possessed. Now for the bolt pistols. They don't rip with the pistols. Only 2 successful wounds in the end. So, 2 3+ saves from the possessed. I hesitate for a minute there because I'm wondering if they count as in cover, but common sense to my mind would say no, they don't, because you're directly in front of them and you're shooting at them and you're in the same building together, so whatever the actual rules are, I'm saying they're not in cover. So 3+ saves. Both passed. No more possessed killed except for that one with the melter gun. Next up, we've got this squad of Chaos Marines facing off against their counterparts over Why are you playing with the lanyard? The lanyard's not a toy. Look at the state of my chair. I've had this chair for a long time now, and that really crappy false leather is rubbing right off it. It's a really good chair, though, actually. Aside from the terrible upholstery, which you've been helping destroy, haven't you, with all your scratching? Yes, you have. Anyway, where were we? Yes, these guys are going to be shooting at their counterparts down the road there. And I'm going to spend 1 CP on a Black Legion stratagem called Let the Galaxy Burn. They can reroll failed hit rolls of 1 for the rest of the phase. So, let's go with the last cannon first, see if we can spear someone right through the chest with it. Well, I dropped it, and it did hit, so that's fine. Wound on a 2. It wounds. 6+ save. Actually, no. Are last cannons AP -4 these days? I don't think they are. I think they're -3. So, 6+ save for the word bearer, which he makes. That was 3 6s in a row. What were the chances? Don't tell me. Someone will actually tell me what the chances were in the comments, I'm sure. Okay, now let's do the rest of the bolt guns. The Black Legionnaires let loose with a quick volley of bolter fire into those word bearers over there. Mass reactive shells exploding all the way around the street. None of them finding their marks, though. Only a couple of wounds and they weren't successful. Only a couple of hits and they weren't successful wounds. That's what I meant to say there. So moving swiftly on now to the bikers. The Slaaneshi bikers, who are going to be firing all their combi bolters straight into the same word bearers down the road there. And that is going to be 8 shots in total. 2 successful hits and wounds from the bikers, 2 saves for the word bearers, both of which, however, are made. Not a single word bearer from this squad down here has fallen to 2 squads shooting at them. I'm a little surprised myself, but then again, it's lots of bolters with AP dash against power armor. Yeah, I suppose that's probably to be expected, although the Black Legion have had some slightly whiffy dice rolls, I've got to say. That's all of their shooting. So now we're going to go into the charge phase, and of course we're going to head back over to the bunker to begin this Barney in earnest between the two warlords. Alright, he's going to charge. Tal Ezra's not going to overwatch. Boop, that was pretty simple. Didn't even have to roll for that. Same deal over here. Successful charge. So close, there's no way they could have failed on 2 dice. Oddly enough, it's going to be the same in the middle there. Right, after a little bit of finagling, I've managed to get all of the Black Legionnaires in and able to fight in combat, which is good, although, except for the... There we go, now they can fight in combat. For reference, the guy at the back I just moved to the melter gun is the one that is carrying the vortex grenades at the moment. He has the objective, he is the model to kill to make him drop it at the moment. So, that's all the charges we're going to do. No one else is in charge range at the moment. So, back over here to the bunker. Well, let's get this started. Right, here we go. Small apology to make, actually, folks. I just realised, just now, that this entire time I've been filming in 24 frames a second instead of 30 frames a second. I think I nudged the button that changes the frame rate at some point by accident. So, whoops. If the footage just seemed a bit laggy at all, it's not just you. It was actually my stupidity. So, apologies for that. Anyway. Now, part of the warlord trait for this exalted champion that I forgot to mention at the start is that I think it's called Black Clad Brute. Is his armor? Is his come on, brain, think. It's been a long day, I know, but think. Is his warlord trait. He gets +1 strength, as we've already discussed, but also, when he finishes a charge against an enemy unit, on a 4+, that enemy unit takes D3 mortal wounds, which is a bit mental. So, on a 4+, Tal Ezra will just take D3 mortal wounds. He can try and ignore those with his 6-up ignored damage, but... that's a 1, though, so... I noticed that Colin meowed exactly the moment I rolled that. Did you curse that dice roll, Colin? Anyway... So, no mortal wounds. Tal Ezra is apparently made of sterner stuff than that. He's not going to get rugby tackled to the floor or anything. However, he's got 4 attacks, 5 the shock assault with his power fist. He'll hit on 3s because the power fist is unwieldy. And he can reroll all failed hits. However, that is failed hits, so the 2 can't be rerolled because, you know, rerolls before modifiers, etc. He can reroll this 1. He rerolls all failed hits against characters, so that is 4 hits. Strength 10, so he's going to wound quite handily on 2s. Of course, he rolls 2 1s. That makes life interesting. Now, these are both AP -3. And... However, Tal Ezra does have that 3+ invulnerable save from the Blasphemous Crown. That was the name of his relic, I remembered. So, 2 3-up invulnerable saves. 1 is failed, 1 is made. So, Power Fists in 9th edition are now 2 flat damage. So, he's got 2 6-up ignore damages to make. He makes 1 of them. So, Tal Ezra takes only a single wound from the onslaught of that exalted champion, who is possibly now beginning to wonder if he hasn't bitten off more than he can chew. Right, at this point, Wordbearer Dave is going to spend 2 of his command points to interrupt over yonder. And I should have probably mentioned that Jadar is heroically intervening into those Black Legionnaires over there. Sorry, and point the camera at what I'm actually doing. That would help. So I'm a bit out of practice, folks. Honest, that's my excuse. Anyway, yeah, he's going to spend 2 command points to interrupt with the Possessed against the Chaos Marines in the centre there. And I'm probably going to spend an additional command point or 2. I need to remember what... Hold on, let me check my notes over here that I handily wrote down. Revered Host is indeed 1 command point. So we're going to play Revered Host as well. So that's 3 CP being spent by Tal Ezra, effectively, really, to interrupt with the Possessed and make their weapons +1 damage. So, bearing in mind that all Chaos Marines in this battle are 2 wounds and not 1, that will mean their weapons are damaged too, which means that those Possessed could definitely kill quite a few Marines if they're lucky. So let's go do that now. Alright, so with Possessed, you roll D3 for the attacks characteristic of the unit when it's selected to attack in the fight phase. At least with the ones in the Chaos Codex you do. I think they changed it in the new Death Guard one, but I'm not using Death Guard Possessed, so whatever. D3 is their attacks characteristic. It's just 1. Okay, so 1. I'm not going to spend a command point because I tend not to use command point rerolls in these solo battle reports, just to let the dice do their thing and keep life a bit more interesting. So only going to get 1 attack each, but they will get +1 for Shock Assault, or whatever the Chaos Space Marine equivalent of Shock Assault is, because they called it something else for some reason. Is it Hateful Assault? I think something that sounds like something you could be put in court for, really. But anyway, so yeah, they'll have 2 attacks each, which is a bit dull, but there it is. So there's actually, at this point, only 3 of them left. So it's going to be 6 attacks, but there is only 3 of them left. Their strength will be buffed to strength 6 because Jadar is nearby. But there's only 3 of them left because one of them is over here and one of them is dead. So let's go. The melee kicks off in earnest. Here are the attacks. That is 4 hits, 2 misses. There is a cat meowing in the background. I don't know if you can actually hear it on the microphone though. And then this will be 3s to wound. Only 1 wound. Yeah, the dice aren't being kind to either side today, apparently. 1 wound. This is AP -2, I think. So I don't think that save is going to be good enough, and that is 2 damage, so that is a dead Black Legionnaire. Let's get rid of you there. Alright, first up, the attacks from the regular Chaos Marines. 17 attacks, because they got 1 attack each, plus a chain sword, plus Shock Assault. So, woo! Here we go. Alright. Oh, hold on, I almost forgot. For 1 CP, I'm using the Black Legion stratagem Merciless Fighters, because the Black Legion is such marvellous bullies. If you play that for 1 CP and they are fighting more enemy models, no, they have more models than enemy models within 3 inches of them, they can gang up on the enemy and get 1 extra attack each. So I'm going to throw another 6 attacks in there. That's given them another 4 hits. Add those to the pool. And then these will be wounding on 4 pluses, which is arguably the most difficult bit. Alright, here are the saving throws for the Possessed. Astartes chain swords, which they are using, have -1 AP, so these are 4-up saves. They make... Yeah, that wasn't very good, was it? Make 3 of them. So, dead Possessed. Dead Possessed. And then we have the champion with his power sword yet to do, so he's actually going to get 4 attacks thanks to that stratagem. He hits 3 times. He wounds no times, however. So, 2 Possessed have been killed. 1 of them still remains. And of course there's Jadar as well, who we probably could have put some attacks on, but in the end it probably wouldn't have made much difference. We didn't even kill all of the Possessed there, so there was no overkill whatsoever. Speaking of Jadar, though, having watched his brothers, his fellow Possessed brothers, be horribly killed and mutilated by the Black Legion, he's not very happy about that, and he's going to attack back straight away, I think. Oh, no, he's not, actually, because I already used the interrupt stratagem as the word bearers this phase, didn't I? And I haven't yet committed to allowing myself to use the same stratagem more than once in a phase. Don't want to break the match play rules that much. So, yeah, his vengeance will just have to wait. But, let's see. Next up, I guess these 2 can gang up on this 1 Possessed. Technically, I suppose they could use that stratagem too, couldn't they? Since there's 2 of them versus 1, but anyway. That is going to be 5 attacks in total. And then 1 wound, 3-up save on the Possessed, which he makes. Okay, the Possessed bodyguard has not yet been killed. I believe that's all the Black Legion close combat fights done. So we'll have this possessed fight back immediately. How about that? D3 for his attack, so he gets the big 3. And then a 4th one for Shock Assault. He doesn't score a single damn hit though, so... Bad luck there, mate. Alright, that little fight, that little scuffle outside the bunker is going to continue on. Let's head over back into the bunker, speaking of which, and let's have Tal Ezra strike back at this upstart Black Legion oathless, faithless dog that has dared start a fight with him. Alright, Tal Ezra has 5 attacks for the Shock Assault. He hits on 3s because the Thunderhammer is unwieldy, but that doesn't matter to him, does it? He'll wound on 2s, with only 1 failing. And these are only AP -2. Thunderhammers are only AP -2 these days, but they are still 3 damage, so this is going to be 5 up saves for the Exalted Champion. He makes 1. He fails 3, though. 3, 6, 9. He is quite thoroughly, maybe not dead, but as close to it as you can get when you're a Chaos Marine. He's going to be in a healing coma for quite some time if the word bearers don't manage to finish him off before it crawls away. That felt good, though. Right, now it's time for Jadar and Cathatet to have their revenge. Cathatet being the name of the demon that inhabits Jadar's mortal form. The two of them have reached a mutually beneficial agreement, shall we say? Maybe. Something like that. Anyway, they're both pretty pissed. So, Jadar, because of Shock Assault, is going to get 6 attacks. Bit of a beast in close combat. Being possessed will do that to you. 6 attacks. What does he hit on? Does he hit on 2s? I'm pretty sure they hit on 2s. So that'll be everything hit. Strength 6, thanks to his own aura. So, 4 wounds. And then these are AP -2, so 5 up saves for the Chaos Marines. That's rather cocked. Let's try that again. Okay. No saves made, and these are D3 damage each, so... 1 dead Chaos Marine. Wounded. Another dead Black Legionnaire. And another dead Black Legionnaire. So Jadar, in his rage, has killed 3 Black Legionaries. Let's get rid of the ones that were next to him, shall we? You and you. Won't get rid of the champion, but I'll get rid of you. And he's consolidated in a little bit. Only a little bit, because he came down with a very severe case of wobbly model syndrome. I guess being possessed by a demon might do that to you as well. Right, that brings us quite handily to the morale phase, where both sides got a bit of morale to do, actually. The word bearers possessed lost 3 guys. 4, 5, 6, 7, they are fine. They're not going anywhere. And the opposing Chaos Marines that have been hacking and slashing away at them, well, they lost 4 guys, so 4, 5, 6, 7, again, they're fine. No morale failed here. And that brings us to the end of Black Legion turn 1. Melter guy over here, he has possession of the Vortex Grenades at the moment, however, he is unfortunately now stuck in combat with a very, very angry Greater Possessed. The Black Legion Warlord has been struck down. Unfortunately, raw strength proving no match for survivability in this scenario. So, I wonder if that... I like to think in my head that fight maybe went something like the Mountain and the Viper, if you know what I mean. Anyway. And yeah, they haven't done an awful lot of damage except for in close combat this turn either, so... not the starts that the Black Legion were certainly hoping for, but it's early days yet. Alright, Word Bearers turn 1, here we go. Alright, before we head over into the Word Bearers turn, there is one small thing I need to go back and do again, because I screwed it up, and luckily I caught it when I was reviewing footage just now. There were 2 ones rolled by the Exalted Champion of the Black Legion here, when he was wounding with his Power Fist, and I should have re-rolled those because Exalted Champions get to re-roll wound rolls in close combat because of their own aura. So that was 2 actual successes, which would have gone through and wounded Tal Ezra. So he now has 2 saves to make of 3+ with his invulnerable save. I'm going to spend lots of time travel in this game. It's weird. But I'm going to retroactively spend 1 command point as the word bearer's player on hexagrammatic ward, which basically means 1, can only do this once per game per character, but one of these saves is automatically passed. The second one we still have to roll for, so need a 3+. And it is a 1, so 2 damage again because Power Fist, 6 is to ignore. He doesn't ignore either, so he's actually taken 3 wounds. He is still alive, and he has still won that fight. But he has 3 wounds remaining. He started off with 6, didn't he? Thanks to his Warlord trait. Yeah, so he's got 3 wounds remaining. Anyway, right, now we'll go on to the word bearer's turn. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of the word bearer's turn 1 movement phase. There's a cat playing with his balls under the table. And this is what's happened. Tal Ezra has emerged from the bunker. Taken 1 step outside, probably looked around and thought, boy, that escalated quickly. He's about to charge in and assist his bodyguard with those 2 Black Legionnaires that are accosting him outside at the moment. He may even fire his combi melter and bolter combi his gun at those Legionnaires over there. I'm tempted to spend a command point on Demon Shell, fire the melter and a Demon Shell at the same time. Although if you rolled a 1 or a 2 to hit with the Demon Shell, we'd take D3 mortal wounds ourselves, which would be I don't know if that's a great idea. He's got 4 wounds left and not 3, as I said in the previous clip. That was yesterday, by the way. Look, it's daylight outside now because it was getting late. And the cat was also getting very rambunctious because it was late and it was getting difficult to film. So I just decided to call it quits and carry on to the next day. Speaking of the cat, I just vacuumed all this. You're going to go spreading litter everywhere now, aren't you? Yeah. Alright, anyway. Anyway, he's got 4 wounds left and not 3, because I forgot my own house rule, which means that he had an extra wound. In case you're curious, I did look up the points difference between Chaos Marines and current Tactical Marines for Loyalists. And it seems to be that Tactical Marines for Loyalists with their extra wound are now 4 points more expensive. So that seems to be the difference. Except when it comes to characters, they are 5 points more expensive. So if you want to do the maths for it yourself at home and play some 2 wounds Chaos Space Marines versus another army, I think what you need to do is basically add 4 points to every regular Chaos Marine type, every infantry model, and 5 points to every character, and then that should work out roughly fairish. So, anyway, yeah, see, look at this, all over the floor, again, just vacuumed. Cats. Anyway, what else do we do? This unit of word bearers has moved up this way into the ruins of the factory to assist the possessed. Probably trying to get a charge off later in this turn, I imagine. Over here, this unit has moved up out of the street and fanned out across the road here to kind of form a bit of a roadblock to the incoming Black Legion. They actually probably want to move this way because the word bearers sense they may have the upper hand for the moment right now. Actually, they've got the Black Legion very much outnumbered in the center, and the objective is theirs for the taking. So when and if they do get it, they're going to want to grab it and then consolidate everything they've got around the prize. So that's why these guys are moving this way. Now, the chaps on the rooftop over here, they've stayed where they are, but I have repositioned them so that they can get some shots down here. But essentially these five, counting is a thing, numbers, what? These 5 are going to be providing cover fire for these guys as they move across the street down here, is what I'm thinking in my head. And yeah, what they're going to be doing is probably firing a crack missile at the bikes, try and take one of them out. And bearing in mind the bikes are on 3 wounds, thanks to my old house rule. And then probably putting some plunging bolt of fire into those Chaos Marines over there, bearing in mind... I was going to say, we have bolter discipline, but we don't, because I did actually have to move some of the models in order to make sure we did have line of sight. I mean, it's still a little bit cheeky. Like if you got the old laser pointer out, you'd probably argue that this little bit of ruined wall is too high for them to actually see over, but in my mind, I think they're all quite capable of stepping up over that parapet and shooting down. So I'm just going to let that slide. Right, that's the movement done. Nice and quick and easy. It's a small game after all. Let's begin the shooting. And let's start it with, well, yeah, let's start it with these guys up here. Why not? We have one crack missile we're going to fire at the bikes. Everything else we're going to fire at the Chaos Marines down there. And this will have a -1 to hit, unfortunately, because we did have to move them. So, hit on a 4. It does hit. That's good. It'll wound on a bike's toughness 5, aren't they? So wound on a 3. Does wound. And the bike has a save of 5+, which it does make. Alright, so the missile bounces harmlessly off the armor plates at the front. Better luck next time. Right, now let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bolters. 3 of them hit. None of them wound. Jolly good. Bolt of fire proving exceptionally ineffective in this game so far, no matter who's doing the shooting. Let's move on to this squad down here next. Now I've got a couple of plasma guns, and I think I'm going to fire them at. I think I'm going to fire everything at those Chaos Marines. I'm not going to overcharge the plasma. We have no means of mitigating any accidents with those things, and things aren't quite desperate enough to want to start overloading those things and potentially kill ourselves in the process. So everything's going to fire at those Chaos Marines over there, and I think I'll come back to you with the saving throws. Alright, a withering volley of rapid fire comes down the road at those Black Legionnaires, and I did elect to spend a command point on Veterans of the Long War for this one, so we did wound on 3s, and therefore the Black Legion have quite a few saves to make. Of course, they just, yeah, you can do that. You can certainly pass every single save. Wow, yeah, good old 10,000-year-old power armor. They don't build it like they used to, you know. So as Tal Ezra emerges from the bunker, the first thing he's going to do is level his combi melter at those gentlemen over there before rushing over to aid his bodyguard. And yeah, why not? Warban CP, Demon Shell, let's do this. So the melter half and the bolter half are going to fire. The bolter half is going to be the Demon Shell, so let's do that. He does hit. D3 mortal wounds to those Chaos Marines. For 2, alright. So 1 Black Legionnaire is dead. Got a Demon Shell right in the face. It's not a nice way to go. Then the melter also hits. And it's got a wound on a 2. Doesn't wound though. There you go. Right. That's the shooting phase done. That is it. That is the lot. There was one guy with a bolt gun here that was able to shoot at them. I did roll that off camera and he failed to wound. So nothing important really happened there. So let's go straight to the charge phase, shall we? I'm going to roll the charge for Tal Ezra here because I'd like to sort of have him get a bit around here and alongside his bodyguard so he's not a sitting duck for that entire squad to shoot at next turn. So he gets a 6. Should really be enough to get him all the way around like that. Of course, I am reminded of the fact that the way Lookout Sir works now, I think he might still be able to be shot at, because that's not a unit of at least 3 models, is it? Oh well, he'll just have to live with it, I guess. Yeah, okay, so there's that charge done. Over here, these guys want to charge through the ruins to aid the possessed. They get a 7. That'll certainly do it, I think. And that is going to be all the charges. I could technically do a 12-inch charge with these guys over there, but I'm not going to, because it's not part of the plan right now. So, yeah, I'll move these guys in, and we shall begin the fight phase. Alright, they're in. Everybody but the two at the back can fight. And I'm going to start here. Charging units always go first. However, the Black Legion could interrupt us, so it would be wise to, well, to do this fight here rather than that fight over there first. So let's just do this one. So, let's go for it. Let me work out how many people can attack and whatnot. I'll tell you what, there's a champion in there with a power fist. We'll do him first. So he will have 3 attacks with shock assault. Hitting on 4s. Wounded on 2s. AP -3. 6 up saves. No. D3 damage. No, they're 2 damage each. They're 2 damage a pop. So, okay, 2 dead Chaos Marines. Let's just extricate you and also you. And then we'll do the rest of the chainsword and regular, you know, punching and kicking attacks from the guys that don't have chainswords, I suppose. Alright, here we go. 15 attacks. And that's not a bad start. Certainly not a bad start. Downright fantastic start, really. 4s to wound. Ugh. Alright, that wasn't quite as successful, let's see. You will be saves. No AP on these, and every save is made. Jolly good. Jolly good. Alright, so the Black Legion over here aren't quite dead yet, but there is really only 2 of them left. The melter gun guy who carries the vortex grenades and the champion, and, you know, Jeddah and the remaining possessed still have yet to fight. So the question now is, does the Black Legion player want to interrupt? Does he want to interrupt? Well, tell you what, let's have the word bearers consolidate to finish their fight sequence. That would probably be a good idea. Even though everything's all tangled up and imagine if I was doing this with Gene Stealers though. Could be even worse. Got some Gene Stealers. I got a small Tyrannid army I need to finish basing up properly. Anyway, probably didn't need to film that, did I, if I'm honest with myself, but never mind. Right, does the Black Legion player want to spend 2 command points to interrupt? I don't think 2 command points is really worth it under the circumstances. They've only got 4 left at the moment. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. And we'll move straight on over to Tal Ezra. In that case, with 5 attacks, if I recall, anyway, with shock assault, with his thunder hammer, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, but he didn't get any, winning on 2s, and then 5 up saves. 1 save made, 2 failed, 3 flat damage each. Those 2 are killed. Marvellous, marvellous, although he might be getting a firing squad coming at him down the road just next turn, but we'll see if that makes a difference. He might manage to survive, you never know. He's already used his hexagrammatic ward for this game, so he doesn't have that to rely on anymore. And since he doesn't have any fancy armor, he just has a 3+ armor save, so he doesn't survive bolter fire any better than he does anything else, really, considering his invulnerable save is a 3+. So massed bolter fire, you know, that's a concern. That's definitely a concern. Anyway, yeah, I think that's going to conclude all the word bearers fighting. So let's have these chaps fight back because it's the word bearers' turn. So the Black Legion get to fight first out of the non-charging units in 9th edition, if I recall that correctly. So let's have the champion. 2 attacks with his power sword. I think he's going to be attacking Jeddah. I like the idea of the champion from the Black Legion squad and Jeddah having a go at each other as the 2 respective leaders of those little warbands in the middle. So, yeah. Now, I just want to check to see if you can use Let the Galaxy Burn as the Black Legion in the fight phase, or if that's a shooting phase only thing. So, one moment. I can't remember where I put my my Vigilus Ablaze book, so never mind. It probably wasn't worth using on a tiny 2-man squad like this anyway, I suppose. So anyway, he's got 1 hit. He's got 1 hit. This will be... Ooh, what toughness is a greater possessed? I think it's 5. So 4 plus to wound? Well, 2 certainly won't do it. Then we have the melter gun chap over there. Do you know what? They were technically charged this turn, so I think shock assault does actually apply, even though it's not their first round of combat. So extra attack with the power sword. Hits. Does wound. Jadar has a 5 plus invulnerable save, which he fails, so he takes 1 damage. 1 damage, and then the melter guy with 2 attacks. 1 hit. This will probably be against Jadar as well, I suppose, because, yeah, they're right next to each other. 1... don't think that's a wound. I don't think that's a wound. I think Greater Possessed are toughness 5, but let me check. They are indeed toughness 5. Anyway, speaking of Greater Possessed, Jadar's turn to slap them back now. He has 5 attacks without shock assault, so, and I think he hits on 2, so that's good. And then we are wounding on 3s. Nice, 3 wounds go through. AP minus 2, 5 up saves. 2 made, 1 failed. D3 damage. 3. The champion falls, because Melter Guy has the objective, let us not forget. Right, that leaves the single remaining possessed, who is no longer actually in range, although I think he can pile in as part of his move, so he can pile in like that. So now he can fight the lone melter dude. D3 attacks. He gets the big 3, that's a good start. He gets 3 hits, that's an even better start. He wounds twice. This is AP minus 2, 5 up saves. 1 failed, and it's only 1 damage because I haven't used the Revered Hosts as the stratagem. So actually, Melter Dude is very much alive and well. And I'm now reaching into my other pocket to try and find a wound dice for him. Yep. Ah. Okay, it's not quite the right colour, but it'll do. Melter Guy's not actually dead. Alright. Fair enough. That is the end of the fight phase, I believe. I think so. Yes, it is. Alright. Morale. Right. Melter Guy has a bit of a problem now, because he lost 1, 2, 3. He lost 4 guys this turn. Yep, but he's fine. He still stands firm. Quite comfortably, actually, because he's Black Legion, so that's good. They lost a guy over there, but that won't really... you don't need to roll for that, because they'll automatically pass that. And that's all of the morale, which brings us to the end of the turn for the Word Bearers. They've all but secured the middle, but not quite. This one Black Legionnaire with a melter gun clutches the crate of vortex grenades under one arm, blasting at anyone he can with his melter gun with the other arm, backing away towards the exit as the onslaught rambles towards him, essentially. The champion of his squad just got cut down protecting the vortex grenades. A remarkably selfless action for a Chaos Marine, it has to be said. But now he'll be looking to leg it as fast as he can. Injured as he is, maybe he can get out of here with the vortex grenades, with this whole horde of word bearers chasing after him. If he can get out around that corner, meet up with some of the others, maybe the Black Legion can do this. Maybe not quite managing to kill this last Chaos Marine will be a big deal for the word bearers. Of course, now I'm sitting here hoping to goodness I didn't forget something in the middle of all that fighting that would have changed the outcome. Because that's a very me thing to do, really. I mean, you saw it earlier in the bunker over there, so... But I think we're good. I hope. Whatever, I'll probably catch it in editing. Right, Black Legion, turn 2, let's go. Alright, folks, the Black Legion movement phase is completed. This is what's happened. Melter Guy has withdrawn from combat, that's for sure. He's run off in this direction. And the bikers have, well, what's happened really actually is these guys have moved forward to engage those word bearers in close combat. I think they're going to give them a round of volley fire and then charge straight into them. Then the bikers moved across through the gap they left to try and prevent these word bearers from coming after the vortex grenades. I'm very, very tempted to send a couple of the bikes charging through that gap straight into the face of Jadar. I don't know whether it's or not. It's a brilliant move. I mean, you're not going to fit a lot of bikes in there, and I think driving a bike through a gap like that, straight headfirst into a bunch of Marines like that, feels like it's stretching the realms of believability a little bit, even for 40k bikes. But yeah, I'll probably end up doing that. This squad as well, they've decided, probably quite sensibly, because the Black Legion aren't idiots. End of the day, they might be Chaos Marines, but they're not bloody stupid. They've decided it's probably more important to get over here and assist in the retrieval of the objective rather than just pointlessly engage Tal Ezra and friend in a shooting match and possibly a close combat melee. So they've actually moved and advanced this way. Now, being Black Legion, of course, they can still shoot some of their bolt guns even though they advanced. Although that missile launcher won't be doing anything useful, that's for sure. So they've moved and advanced that way again to try and close off any wordbearer attempts at getting through here and getting those grenades back. And that's the movement phase. The Black Legion have the objective, and as you can see, they are now just generally consolidating around it as much as they can in order to make sure that those wordbearer bastards don't get it back. Now, having said everything I just said, these guys certainly still are going to fire some parting shots at Tal Ezra as they make their way by here. 6 of them have bolt guns that can actually see him, and they will... Thanks, computer, for letting me know that there's probably another Adobe update, wasn't it? I don't know if you even heard that in the background. The microphone on this phone... I am using a phone to film this, in case that wasn't obvious, but the microphone on this seems to pick up very little background noise, I've noticed, which is probably a good thing, because there's lots of noise. Whether it's the cat meowing or playing with his toys or the traffic outside or what have you. Anyway, tangent over. 6 shots at that Chaos Lord, just as a parting gift. Now, they will be hitting on 4s, bearing in mind, because they did advance. So only 2 hits as they fire on the trot here. And no wounds. So Tal Ezra taking nothing in the way of return fire. Now, let's see. What can the bikes actually shoot at right now? I think these 2, as maybe a bit of a stretch here, can shoot through the gap into the enemy over there. They can't shoot Jadar because of the lookout sir rules, but they can certainly shoot that possessed, the one remaining possessed in the face. So maybe they should do that. Let's see. They're definitely within 12 inches, so it's going to be 8 shots from their combi bolters straight at that possessed. Might as well just kill the bugger. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, that's certainly not a bad start. Okay. 3 successful wounds. The possessed has a 3+ save, and I mean, that's a little bit cocked, but I'll let it slide just because it's cool. Yeah, he survives. Incoming bolter rounds through that gap there, and I'm going to let that slide particularly because it's a little bit debatable as to whether or not he would actually have a cover save going through there. I've erred on the side of him not having it, but yeah, we'll let him live this time. He's going to get charged in a minute anyway. The Meltagun obviously can't shoot because he fell back, and then we go over here to this unit who are going to shoot the chaps in front of him in the face, and we are going to spend a command point for Let the Galaxy Burn, and because they are a unit of Chaos Space Marines, they can reroll all failed hit rolls. Indeed, it might not be a terrible idea to burn a second command point on Veterans of the Long War, and I think I will. So let's do that. Veterans of the Long War and Let the Galaxy Burn, rerolling all failed hit rolls and +1 to wound. Let's start with that las cannon that's going to hit on a 4+. I can reroll the 1s and 2s, but he rolled a 3, so that's a little unfortunate. As for the rest of them, all right, 13 shots from the bolt pistol and all the bolt guns. almost point blank range into those word bearers. Let's go. Alright, re-roll all the fails. Because we are the Black Legion, we are a cut above the other traitor legions. Let the galaxy burn. Okay, we get 2 extra hits out of that. Not bad at all. And then we'll be winning on 3s because of Veterans of the Long War. I kind of like this. It's 2 CP and you can suddenly make your Chaos Marines with bolt guns if you're Black Legion surprisingly elite. So that is going to be, yeah, that's quite a few saves for the word bearers to make. Let's do this. 3+ saves. They only fail 1. Power armor, saving them again. So a single word bearer takes a wound after those 2 CP spent. I'm not sure that was worth it, really. But there it is. Well, that does indeed conclude the shooting phase, so I suppose we better move on to charging. Starting with the bikes. They're going to charge Jadar and the lesser possessed over there. That is an 8. That'll certainly do it. Let me measure up to see if we can get any of them around the side. Although, see, if you're going around the side, there's like pipes and barrels and stuff in the way, and that makes me feel like maybe that should be counting as difficult terrain. But I haven't treated any of this as difficult terrain so far, so maybe I should just continue on as I have been so far and not treat it as that. I don't know. Anyway, let me measure this up. Alright, that's very cramped, but that'll just about do it. The first 3 bikes will be able to fight at least. Yeah, not ideal fighting conditions for bikers, really, but, you know, their blood is up. They want to kill, maim, and burn, and they have the added incentive of protecting the vortex grenades, because they are quite a valuable prize. If they can't, and, you know, even if they don't actually decide to use the vortex grenades in battle, they can certainly be traded for other things with people like warpsmiths, with the Dark Mechanicum, folks like that. They could use those vortex grenades to pay for a lot of favors among the Chaos Legions in the future, you see, so they're very much worth having. Additionally, they haven't heard anything from the Exalted Champion in a little while over the Voxnet. They've noticed that Tal Ezra has emerged from the bunker intact, bleeding slightly, but intact, so they have to assume that Tal Ezra won that particular encounter, and so there's glory to be had on this battlefield today. All Black Legionnaires walk the path of glory, and one among these number is probably thinking to himself, do you know what, I wouldn't mind being in charge of the warband now. That other twerp's gone and got himself, if not killed, mortally wounded. I reckon I could do a better job. So, yeah, there is glory to be had. Next up, we're going to charge with these guys. The word bearers might actually overwatch them. I don't know if it's worth doing. They might do it though. I feel like they probably would. Yeah, you know what? They would. In this scenario, you know, their job right now is to hold this street from the advancing Black Legion, stopping them from getting around the side there. They are ready and they are prepared to receive an incoming charge, so they will overwatch, regardless of whether or not mathematically it would be a good idea in, you know, game terms or whatever. So the charge, though, do they succeed? They certainly do with an 8. And yes, I will spend a command point as the word bearers play it to do a bit of overwatch, starting with those 2 plasma guns, not overcharging, but looking for 6s to hit. Nothing. Then the rest of them. Alright, with their bolt guns, the word bearers scored 2 hits and 2 wounds on overwatch. 1 save has failed. One of the Black Legionnaires is now on a single wound remaining, but they will complete the charge. Alright, the melee has begun. Now, the word bearers do have enough command points to interrupt in this fight phase, so I need to choose carefully as the Black Legion player which fight I want to resolve first, and after some deliberation I think I'm going to resolve this one first. Over here, the bikers are fighting against a greater possessed and 1 small possessed. The small possessed not too worried about. The greater possessed could definitely do some damage, but this fight over here could be a bit more swingy. In fact, the thing is, at the moment, with this fight over here, the Black Legion are actually slightly outnumbered. I can't use the Merciless Fighters stratagem on them, for example. Might be able to use it over here, but not over here. So I think this one needs to go first. For this one to be decisive, for this charge to actually work, the Black Legion really need to go first. And I really do also need to sink some command points into this. Yeah, Veterans of the Long War is a must. And I think also probably Let the Galaxy Burn if I can use it in the fight phase. And I'm going to go away and have another check, see if I can find that out. Hold on. I had to phone a friend on that one in the end. But yes, you can use Let the Galaxy Burn in the fight phase. So let's do this. It's going to be 14 attacks from the regular Marines. I'll do the champion afterwards. Rerolling all hits, +1 to wound. I am spending 2 CP on both those stratagems. So let's do this. Hoping for a bit more success than earlier. Alright, so lots of rerolls to be had. Come on. It's always awkward doing this through a camera screen with one hand. Okay, so all but 2 have hit in the end. Now wounding on 3s. Okie dokie. Yeah, lots of 3s there. That was a command point very well spent. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 6 3s. 7 3s, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Alright then. So, this many 3 episodes for the word bearers to make. Aha! Right. That injured Chaos Marine is dead. Another word bearer is dead. That was a pass. Another word bearer has taken a wound. That's more the result we were looking for. So, you are gone. You are gone. And you have a wound remaining. Right, that's tipped the scale slightly. However, the champion with his Power Fist does have 3 attacks as well. He can reroll, not the 3, but he can reroll this 2. Yeah, 2 hits. 2 wounds, 6 up saves. Both failed, D3 damage each. No, 2 damage each, aren't they? I need to... Man, my brain is still stuck in 8th edition mode. Yeah, that is another... Well, that is you finished off, and another Chaos Marine killed as well. Another word bearer is dead. I'll leave the Chaos Beaky. I like the Chaos Beaky. I really do. He's one of my favourite models. I don't know why, he just is. Right. Yeah, that was good. That was certainly good indeed. Right, the word bearers are now going to interrupt, rather predictably, 2 command points, and Jadar is going to be slapping some bikers in the face momentarily. Alright, here we go. Jadar, the Great Possessed, getting stuck in, not pleased at all that something else has come between him and the prize. Let's do this. 6 attacks, thanks to Shock Assault. 1 of those misses. Now, wounding on 3s, because he is Strength 6, and the bikes are Toughness 5. Yeah, there we go. 4 wounds, AP -2, 5 up saves on the bikes. They don't make a single one. Uh-oh. Alright, these are D3 damage pop, so... Injured bike, that'll kill a bike. Injured bike, bike dead. Alright, 2 bikers have been killed by Jadar as they come charging at full speed straight in. Well, probably not full speed if you're going to have to try and negotiate that terrain, but anyway. Yeah, he's murdered straight of them, 2 up. 2 of them straight up, so... Let's get rid of the 2 that are directly in front of him. That makes the most sense to me. Lovely jubbly. Alright, interruption complete. Now back over to the Black Legion, and of course the bikers that remain will consolidate thusly. I think they're just going to strike straight at Jadar. So we have a champion with 4 attacks, I think. And then we have a regular biker with 3 attacks. No fancy rerolls or stratagems on this one, just regular roll attacks. So, yeah. 4 hits. They're going to need 5s to wound a Toughness 5 Possessed, and with that, they aren't going to do it. So Jadar laughs in the face of their puny attacks. Well, you know, him and Cathetep laugh as one at these puny mortal attacks. As he cuts down 2, but he must, and it's no joke either, like a big 8-foot-tall Chaos Marine on a gigantic motorcycle, and he's just swatted 2 of them like flies. I love Greater Possessed. They're so cool. Anyway. Right. That is it for the Black Legion's attacks. So it's up to this little lesser possessed here to see if he can get stuck in and kill something as well. So D3 attacks for him in the fight phase. He gets 2, plus a 3rd for shock assault. And yeah, that's 2 hits. However, he isn't going to wound, I don't think. I think he's... Well, no. He should be strength 6, shouldn't he? Because of Jadar. So, yeah, that is 1 wound. 5 up save. Failed. 1 wound taken off a bike. So there's a bike there with 2 wounds remaining. I'll put it on the guy at the back rather than the champion. Champion was sensible enough to get out of the way, I like to think. Finally, we circle back round to where we started, with these word-bearers striking back at the Black Legion that just charged them. With this many attacks from the regular guys, we'll do the champions separately. And, okay. Not awful. Not great, not terrible. And, okay, 4 successful wounds, 4 3-up saves for the Black Legion. They make every single one. Now the champion, with his hammer that counts the fist, he makes 3 hits. That's certainly a good start. He makes 2 wounds, 2 6-up saves, both failed. So this injured Chaos Marine is dead, and another Chaos Marine is dead. How many does that leave on either side? They've got 6. It's 6 aside. It's even Stevens in this fight right now. Jolly good. Jolly good. Right, yeah, nobody over here has, like, Mark of Corn or anything. The unit that did have Mark of Corn has been thoroughly destroyed, with the exception of the 1 melter guy that remained. I did think about using it earlier, but it was 3 command points, and at the time it didn't really seem worth it with only about 4 of them left. So, okay, this fight is now concluded. And that concludes most of the turn, really. There is morale to do, but I think it's largely negligible for either side. Except for maybe these guys. Let's see, what do they roll? A 2. Yeah, they're going to be fine with leadership 9. The bikes will be fine. The word bearers lost... Was it 4 guys with this squad? Let's have a look. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're actually fine because they have the banner, the icon of vengeance, so they actually do pass that morale check. Could have re-rolled it anyway, being word bearers, so... Okay. That concludes Black Legion turn 2. Largely successful, I want to say. Yeah, it's going to be tricky for the word bearers to actually get over there and recover the prize right now. They'll certainly give it a good go. There's nothing stopping them trying to climb over that big crate, for example. It could certainly be done, but will they be able to keep it once they've got it? Not so sure. We'll see, won't we? So, Black Legion turn 2 done. Let's head on over to word bearers turn 2. Did I say turn 3 a second ago? I meant turn 2. If I said turn 3, I meant turn 2. Anyway. Alright, we're at the end of word bearers turn 2 movement phase. Is it really only turn 2? I think it's only turn 2. Tal Isra has decided, along with his possessed bodyguard, to go around the outside of this building and attack this unit of Chaos Marines in the rear. Meanwhile, this blob of word bearers with chainswords and a mixture of weapons have charged it right up the guts through the middle of the factory towards these guys. Jadar and his lesser possessed friend remaining in combat with the bikers. And over on this side of the battlefield, this unit of word bearers have fallen back. The unit that was on the top of the building have actually come down from the building, ready to lay some shots into these Black Legionnaires and then potentially charge them as well, if necessary. And that's about the shape of it, really. So, yeah. I have to say, just glancing at the table, it doesn't look like things are really going the Black Legion's way, but they do still have the prize. And so far they've just been a little bit unlucky. Things could have gone very differently if the Exalted Champion had won the duel with Tal Ezra earlier instead of the other way around. But anyway, so we're going to go straight into the shooting phase. And we're going to begin with these guys firing their eclectic mix of weapons, mostly bolt guns and bolt pistols, but there's also a flamer in there. So I'm going to start with the flamer for D6 auto hits for 3. And do I want to do Veterans of the Long War? How many command points do the word bearers have left at the moment? I'm just going to slowly shimmy over here to check the counter. They've got 3 left. Okay, so... Yes, we will use Veterans of the Long War. So these are wound on 3s. Perfect. Rip saves. 1 is failed. 1 of those Chaos Marines takes a wound. Now let's see how the rest of the bolt gun fire fares. Alright. Volleys of bolt gun fire and bolt pistol fire have gone straight into these Black Legion chaps. And this is how many saves they've got to make. They make all of them. Excellent, right. None lost to bolt of fire then. Okay. Can Tal Ezra see any of them with his combi melter? Do you know what? He can't. A side effect of him wanting to try and flank around the side of the building means he can't actually shoot any of them, so no melter gun, no demon shell this turn. Lucky for you guys. Right. Okay. Let's go over there and do a bit of shooting from them next. Alright, these word bearers have made their way down from the rooftop. They're going to open fire with a close range volley straight into these Black Legionnaires, left a bit bruised and wounded from the previous clash with this squad over here. I'm going to start with the missile launcher. He's going to fire a crack missile because if you want to kill a Space Marine, you don't use frag. That's for guardsmen and Eldar and cultists and things like that. You don't use frag on a Space Marine. So crack missile hitting on 4. Misses. Then it's all the bolt guns. So we have, let's see, 2, 4. Probably should have edited this out. 6, 7 for the bolt. Actually, no. That champion actually has a power axe and a bolt gun, not a bolt pistol. So hitting on 3s. No fancy rerolls available to you. You're not Black Legion. Alright, so that's 3 wounds on the Black Legion, 3 up saves. They do fail 1, so a Black Legionnaire is injured, but none of them are actually killed. Into the charge phase we go. Now, I think I'm going to start with this blob of Chaos Marines attacking the other blob of Chaos Marines. They're going to, yep, they're very much making that charge. In fact, they've got a little bit of room to maneuver there, haven't they? With an 11-inch charge. The Black Legion won't be overwatching. They do have 1 command point remaining, but that would probably be better spent on either Veterans of the Long War or... what's it called? Let the Galaxy Burn, that's the one. So not going to overwatch. Alright, they got a not inconsiderable amount of free movement out of the bargain there. They've got an awful lot close to this fella now. They probably could have declared him as part of their charge with a roll like that, but at the time it didn't seem very feasible, so I didn't. Oh well. Right, next up, Tal Ezra and the Lesser Possessed Bodyguard. Now, there's a little house rule I like to use on this channel whereby if a character is in coherency with another unit, you can roll their charge together. They will fight separately and everything in the fight phase, but they can charge together. So, and for that matter, the opposing guy, when he chooses to overwatch, he can choose to assign his shots in Overwatch to whichever he likes. But yes, I do roll them together just to avoid those annoying scenarios. Where you know what happens. You get like a unit of guys and you've got a Chaos Lord with them. The unit of guys make the charge. The Chaos Lord fails his charge, and he's just left standing there out in the open like he forgot to tie his shoelaces. And it's very silly, and I don't like it. It wasn't a problem in previous editions because in previous editions, characters actually attached themselves to units and they walked around as one unit. But they got rid of that in 8th edition, and so you've had this sort of shoelace tying incident recurring ever since. So there's a little house rule. I like to roll characters and units next to them together for their charge rolls. It's I'll be honest, it's a rule I nicked from Say Hi Paul. Great YouTube channel, go check him out if you can. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. So rolling both of these guys at the same time. I don't know what they need for their charge right now. I haven't measured it yet. I suspect the 3 isn't going to cut it, though, so... Alright. Nope, not going to command point it. Sticking to my own rule of no command point rerolls in Solohammer. So, yeah, that didn't happen. It's just these guys on their own now. No support from the Chaos Lord and Friend. The question is, do I want to charge over there? And the simple answer is I don't think so. 5 Chaos Marines versus 6, especially when those 6 Chaos Marines have the opportunity to use Veterans of the Long War or something. I don't think so. They're brave, but they're not that brave. So we'll leave it over here with this little Mexican standoff. The Black Legion will have a choice of who they want to, shoot at and charge next turn, but they've got 2 different options now. And that, of course, then will take us back over here to do this one fight before we get stuck into the other stuff. By other stuff, I mean Jadar versus the Bikers to Electric Boogaloo. Alright, let the bloodshed commence. The word bearers have this many attacks, not including the champion, who I'll do separately afterwards. That's cocked. Okay, that's a miss. Alright. We are going to use Veterans of the Long War for a single command point. Okay. I think that's all the misses removed. Would be a few Death to the False Emperors in there if we were fighting Imperium, but we're not. They're going to get rid of Death to the False Emperor when their 9th edition Codex comes out, aren't they? It's a random thing that happens on 6s, and therefore it must die. I'm still a little bit salty about what happened to Dak and Daka for Orcs. But anyway, that's a totally different conversation. We have this many successful wounds. This many saves for the Black Legion. Okay. They failed too. There is a thump upstairs. Somebody just dropped something, I think. I don't know if you heard that on the video, but in case you did, that's what that was. Alright, 1 Black Legionnaire is killed. Let's get rid of you. Now the champion with his Power Fist. He only hits once. He does wound. 6 up save, isn't made. 2 damage. Another Black Legionnaire is killed. That's actually the champion. Let's not get rid of him. Let's get rid of you. Okay, 2 Black Legionaries are killed. It was a little bit underwhelming, but that's been the story of this game in terms of lethality. Although, I have to admit, I'm not going to complain, because one of my issues with 9th edition, as it currently stands, is that everything's a little bit too killy. The game has been... In a lot of games of 9th edition I've played, there's been instances of one unit being able to completely destroy another unit just with 1 round of shooting. And I don't feel like that's actually very good for the game at the end of the day, because if all it boils down to is a contest to see who can delete the most units first, then the game really loses a lot of its strategic depth, if you ask me. So actually playing this game with lots of power armor and lots of AP- weapons where not a lot of things are dying, but there's also lots of tactics and movement going on. This is the kind of 40k I like. This is what I like. This is what I want to see more of, if I'm honest. I know it's not very rock and roll to see only 1 or 2 guys die from a round of combat, but it makes the game more interesting to play. I don't know. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my arse. Probably am. Usually am. It's been known to happen once or twice. Anyway, right, that's the only charging unit now that's fought. So we actually are going to flip over to the Black Legion now, and it's going to be those bikers wailing away at Jadar, I think. So 2 attacks from the regular biker, 3 from the champion. Well, everything hits. Good start. Got a wound on 5s though. Tricky bit. Aha, there we go. 4 successful wounds. Jadar has a 3-up save. Bosses them all. He's unkillable today. The demon is very much in control, and it's not interested in suffering the puny attacks of these mortals. I love it. Right, so then we flip back over. Cathatet / Jadar will do his 5 attacks back at the bikers. He misses twice. It's not actually that cocked, was it really? So we'll let it slide. Let's see. So 2 wounds. EP -2, 5 up saves for the bikes. Nope. D3 damage. 2. Biker is dead. 2. Champion remains with 1 wound. Whoop. Let's just shuffle you back. There we go. Right. Now it's the Black Legion's turn to fight again. It'll be these guys piling in and fighting back against the word bearers that just charged them. Alright. This many attacks from the Black Legion. They will be spending their last command point until they regenerate one next turn anyway. On Veterans of the Long War in return. Hitting on 3s. Good hit roll. Frankly, very good hit roll. Wounding on 3s thanks to Veterans. The champion's attacks are included this time because the champion in this squad does not... Well, he has just as a regular close combat weapon like the rest of them. Saves for the word bearers. They failed 2. So one of them is killed. Let's kill off you at the back there. There we go. Right. 2 Black Legionnaires died to 1 word bearer. So the word bearers definitely won that fight, but not by much. And then we flip back over to the word bearers, which is going to be that little lesser possessed there. See if we can try and finish off that biker champion. D3 attacks. He gets 2. He hits both times. Get out of the way, rocks. He wounds once. 5 up save on the biker champion is failed. 1 wound is done. It's just 1 damage without the stratagem, but it is enough. The biker champion is struck down by the bear of possessed. They've done really well, actually, those 2. Jadar especially, absolute MVP. He's really carried the word bearers in the middle here, in the centre of the battlefield. But he hasn't won them the prize just yet, so still some work to be done. Alright, well that is how things stand at the end of Black Legion turn 3. 2, 3, 3, isn't it? So it's turn 3 for the Black Legion. No, that was the word bearer's turn. What the hell's wrong with me? It wasn't even that long of a break between the last 2 clips. Brain, get it together. What the hell? Anyway, it's the end of word bearer's turn 2. There's no negligible morale to do. These guys lost a couple of dudes, but they're fine with leadership 9. The word bearers lost 1 guy. The bikes are all dead, so no morale for them. Anyway, that leaves the word bearers definitely on the upswing. They definitely have the upper hand at the moment. The Black Legion still have the prize, of course. However, the chap carrying it has found himself in a bit of a precarious position, really. Jadar and the lesser possessed over there are very much in a position to give chase to him. And they have like a 7-inch move as well, possessed, so they'll catch him eventually. He's only got 1 wound as well, so all it would take is for 1 word-bearer legionary to get a bead on him with his bolt gun and open fire, and he might be curtains. If I were him, I'd probably just drop the vortex grenades and leg it, but I don't think he can actually do that in the rules, if I'm honest. I don't think he actually said you could do that anyway, because normally a sensible player would never do such a thing. But anyway, yeah, it's not looking great for the Black Legion at the moment, it has to be said. Things just haven't gone quite their way. But it's not over yet. It's not over yet. They may still be able to cling on to victory here if they can just keep the prize till the end of turn 5. That's all they got to do. So, Black Legion turn 3 coming up next. All right. Well, that was a jolly quick and simple movement phase for the Black Legion. These guys, this squad here, they got a monster advance move. They moved and advanced 11 inches all the way back down here to consolidate in this direction on account of Lone Melter Dude, who's being a bit of a hero right now. He managed to get a good advance roll as well, so he's moved up and over this crate, over to the other side, so he's now out of line of sight to be shot at by basically everyone. Unless maybe those word bearers over there can get back up on the rooftop, that wouldn't be a bad idea from there. If I was Tal Ezra, and I was coordinating this battle from the word bearer side, I might tell him to go get some high ground to see if they can snipe this fella from a distance, but with only bolt guns, they might not be in range. Anyway, yeah, he's managed to get behind there, still carrying the prize. And these guys have remained in combat with the word bearers. And that's it. That's the movement phase. I did forget to go and add a point of a command point over here on the thing. Hold on. Doing this on camera like a professional bat rep person. There we go. There we go. They've got 2 command points now because they generate one at the start of every turn. Right. Movement done. Shooting. There's going to be a lot of shooting. There'll be some pistols in close combat over here. And these guys can still shoot their bolt guns a little bit because they are Black Legionaries. So they are Black Crusaders. They are at the tip of the spear. And they can do that. They can advance and fire their weapons as if they were assault weapons. So they're going to do exactly that. The last cannon in the team can't fire, but 1, 2, 3, 4 bolt guns can. And they're going to shoot... I'm going to shoot at that squad over there, the one that could potentially get up on the roof and start shooting at him again. So let's do that. 4's to hit. So 2's two hits, and then 4's to wound. 1 wound, 3 up save. It's actually failed. They have injured a Chaos Marine over there. Well done. One of them has been injured. One of the word bearers has taken a knee briefly as he gets shot in the gut. I just dropped a dice on the floor. Fantastic. Did it wake the cat up? No, thank goodness. He's asleep at the moment. He likes to sleep in the afternoon, so that's when I'm going to be filming bat reps from now on. Because that way he's asleep, and he's not running around down here. He's still asleep. He's not running around down here meowing and chasing dice and things, so, okay, good. Where was I? Yeah, they fired. Right, bolt pistols, let's do that. Right, here we go. Pistol fire in close combat. Not something that happens terribly often. Mostly because, close combat tends to be decided in a single turn, usually. Doesn't tend to go on for this long. So, pistols, hooray! Hitting on 3s. Wooding on 4s. Lovely jubbly. 3 saves for the word bearers to make. They fail 1. Did they have a guy already injured here? I don't think they did. So, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Right. Shooting done. Charge phase. No charges. Fight phase. The word bearers will actually get to go first, because them's the rules. So, this squad of word bearers is actually going to fight now. Which is unfortunate news for the Black Legion, really. But off they go. How many command points do the word bearers have? Oh, they've got 2. They're fine. Right, yeah, so they're going to Veterans of the Long War this. Okay, let me gather the dice. The good news for the Black Legion is it's considerably fewer attacks now, because Shock Assault is no longer in effect. So, the bad news is they hit with almost everything. Alright. And they wound with almost everything as well. So, saves for the Black Legion. They make everything. Well done, lads. Right. The champion as well. I'm doing him separately because he's got his Power Fist. He hits only once. He wounds, except save. No, dead Chaos Marine, dead Black Legionnaire. Okay. Now it's the Black Legion's turn to fight back. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks. Only 1 each because they've got bolt guns. Move you. You weren't part of the dice roll. There was the other one. Okay. And I did want to spend my remaining 2 CP on this, didn't I? Yes. What's it called? Let the Galaxy Burn, that was it. And Veterans of the Long War. So, these 4, re-roll them. Lovely jubbly. Now wounding on 3s. Okay. Word bearer saves. Ooh, they failed 2! They failed 2! Nice. Was one of them injured? I'm not sure. Let me check. I just checked the footage. I don't think there was an injured guy in that squad that I forgot to put a dice down for, so 1 word bearer is killed. Another one bites the dust, and the fight continues. That's it for the Black Legion. No real morale to do. At all, really. There's, word bearers lost a guy, and the Black Legion lost a guy. No morale test. I mean, you technically need to take the morale test because that's the rules, but they would automatically pass them if I were to do them, so let's just skip it. Right. Word bearers, turn 3. Let's go. Well, folks, the word bearers sense victory within their grasp, and the noose is theoretically tightening around the Black Legion now. Tal Ezra and his possessed pal here have emerged around the corner of this building, ready to charge into the rear of this squad of Chaos Marines. You'd really think that charging into the rear of a unit engaged in close combat would give you some sort of wonderful bonus, but it doesn't. Jadar and his possessed pal have moved out of the ruins. Oh, cat's awake. Yawn. They've moved out of the ruins. They are giving chase to this very unfortunate melter guy who's got the prize at the moment. The hunt is on. They smell his blood in the air and they're coming for him. Meanwhile, over here, these two squads have moved over in the direction of the Black Legion, ready to open fire and then probably charge in for the kill, really. Mostly to get a bit of extra movement in the direction of this poor unfortunate soul over here, who's regretting many of his life choices at the moment, I think. And that's about the shape of it. So, movement done. Let us begin shooting. And there's really nothing for Tal Ezra to shoot right now, because we can't shoot them on account of them being engaged in combat. Should we start with pistols? Let's start with pistols, shall we? So everybody in this squad here has got a pistol, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Wait, no, that's 5. There we go, that's 6. Alright. I think they're within reroll range of Tal Ezra now. He's providing them with his guidance and leadership, so they can actually reroll those ones. There we go. And to wound, 4s. 2 wounds. 2 saves for the Black Legion. 2 of them are felled by pistol fire. Well, one of them is felled by pistol fire. It was 2 wounds in total. Alright, one of the Black Legionnaires is down. Next, we go over here. Right, first things first. Missile launcher with crack missile hitting on a 4. Hits, wounds on a 2. Wounds, AP -2, 5-up save. It's failed, d6 damage. For 4, this guy is killed. Probably should have gone with the bolters first to try and knock off this last wound, but never mind. Crack missile to the chest. He's down and won't be getting up again anytime soon. Space Marines are walking tanks after all, but what do you shoot tanks with? You shoot them with crack missiles. So, let's do the rest of the squad now. Let's see. Measuring. Right, they're all in rapid fire range, so off they go. Chatter, go the bolt guns. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s. 2 wounds. 2 3-up saves. Both passed. Moving over to the other squad over here. Let's do both the plasma guns. Going to do Veterans of the Long War on these guys for a command point. 2 left, I think, the word bearers have now, because they regen 1 at the start of the turn. So, rapid firing plasma, not overcharging. Good thing too. 3 hits, wounding on 2s because of veterans. Yeah, it's cocked. Reroll it. Alright, cool. AP -3. 6-up saves. Okay, do. 1 dead Chaos Marine. 1 is rather badly injured. Now the bolt guns. Let's see. 2, 4, 6. Should have done this off camera. 8. Actually, no, that's just 1 because the champion has a bolt pistol. Right. No wounds. No wounds, even with Veterans of the Long War. Still, the plasma guns did good work, so that's okay. Right. That's all the shooting done. That is all the shooting done. Charge phase beginneth. Both these units of Chaos Marines are going to charge. Let's do this one first. It's a 7-inch charge. I think that'll probably do it. We measure it up in a second. Unit number 2. That's a 6. That probably won't do. I will check though. Yep, can confirm only one successful charge of the 2. Next up though, we're going to do Jadar and his buddy. Again, using that little house rule, I'll roll them together as one. Obviously they're charging these guys. They're not going to try and get over the boxes. With a 4, they ain't going anywhere either. Okay. Fight phase it is then, and we'll start with these guys. And oh no, I almost forgot. These 2. Charging them. 7. Yep, that's good. In you go, chaps. Time to crack some skulls, Tal Ezra. Right. Now it's the fight phase. Now it is the fight phase, and we shall start with these guys over here. Let's see. I'll get the dice. Alright, here we go again. Veterans of the Long War being played once more, because we'd really like to get rid of this squad of Chaos Marines if at all possible, allowing us to chase down this fella, secure the prize, and win the day. So I don't want to be held up in combat for another turn if they can help it. So, Veterans of the Long War, hitting on 3s. That's a good start. This, oh. I need to do this again. I accidentally rolled the power axe attacks along with the rest of them. Although I suppose, yeah, no, we've got to do them separate. Alright, hold on. Let's do that again. Could have edited that out, but I'm not gonna. Alright, significantly less good roll there. Whoops. Paying for the mistakes. Alright, 3's to wound. 2 wounds from the regulars. 1 failed, 1 saved. So actually, this Chaos Marine's dead. Oops! Okay, artillery shell just landed and knocked that drop pod out of its crater. Whoops! I'm being a bit clumsy today. Right. It's difficult when you're viewing everything through a tiny screen. Anyway, right, now the power axe attacks from the champion. I had to look up what power axes are like in 9th now, because I kind of didn't know. Oh man, it's a total mess. Alright, he hits twice. He'll wound on a 2. Yep. And it's AP -2, so 2 5-up saves. Failed. Another Chaos Marine is killed. It'll be you, sir, leaving the lance cannon and the champion still alive. And we'll consolidate thusly. There we go. Right. Let's see. Do the Black Legion have enough points to interrupt, and do they even want to? Let's see. Right, they do have 2 command points, but they're not going to spend them on interrupting, I don't think. What? What? What do you want? Just nothing in particular, just some generic meowing. Alright. Just announcing to the world that you are awake and you require distractions. Is that it? Or are you annoyed that you can't scratch the chair anymore because I sprayed it with citrus stuff? It might be that. You would have scratched the chair by now normally. Now it's just sulking on his scratch pad. Anyway. Right. Now then. He's been good, actually, to be fair. You've been good, haven't you, Colin? I left this whole table set up overnight with all the models on it, and you didn't even try and run off with one of them. You were very good. Here. Have a ball. Ball is not interesting, apparently. Alright. Where the hell was I? What was I doing? What was happening? I think we were going to attack with Tal Ezra next. That was it. Right. How many attacks does he get? I think it's 5. With shock assault. Misses with that one. Hits with the rest. Only wounds twice, though. 5-up saves. Both failed, flat 3 damage each. He's just killed 2 Chaos Marines. The Possessed has 2 attacks, make that 3 with Shock Assault. Hits twice. Wounds once. 5-up save. Is successfully passed. Okay. That brings us over to the Black Legion's turn to fight in close combat, which is going to be these remaining Chaos Marines here, these 3. And Shock Assault has an effect because they were charged this turn. So, 2 attacks for the plebs, 3 for the champion. Actually, no, he doesn't actually have a chainsword, does he? We went over this at the start of the game. He doesn't have a chainsword. He just has a bolter and bolt pistol. So, just 3 attacks for him. Yeah, there was one thing I remembered, actually, in between takes here. You remember how at the start of the game we had that twist, which was hatred, reroll all 1s to wound if you're fighting attacking the closest enemy unit? Yeah, kind of forgot it the entire game. Whoops. At least it didn't favour one side or the other, but whoops. To be fair, this happens a lot. I think of the last 3 or 4 games of open play I've played with people, I think in every single one we forgot the twist. Consistently the entire game. So I guess this is no different. I begin to wonder why I even bother drawing the twist if I'm just going to forget it the entire game. Anyway, never mind. Alright, let's do this. Let's have you guys attack. Who are you going to attack? You might as well attack the Chaos Marines, because they've not fought yet. Alright. Let's play our last 2 command points on Veterans and Let the Galaxy Burn as well. So let's reroll those 3 2s. And then we'll wound on 3s. Okay. Saves. Wordbearers fail 1 save, so we have 1 injured Wordbearer Legionary. Pop it into the back there. Then these Wordbearers will fight back in response. Let's see. They didn't get charged or charged this turn, so no fancy shock assault bonuses for them. 2 for the chainsword guys, and 1 for the flamer guy. Alright, here we go. Regular attacks, power fist yet to come. Reroll that. I think there was only 1 there. I knocked the other from Talazra. Thanks very much. Force to wound. 3 saves. Another 2 failed. Means another dead Chaos Marine is going to be you, I'm afraid. Do you want to go out? Okay. Right, champion with Power Fist next. 1 hit. 1 wound. 1 failed save. Missile launcher is dead. The champion stands alone amidst a pile of his dead brethren. Now let's go back over here where the Black Legion are going to fight against the guys who charged them. So 3 attacks from the Power Fist champion. Right there first. Unfortunately he only hits once. He does wound. 6-up save. Nope. That is a dead Wordbearer. Let's get rid of you. And then the gentleman with the las cannon, swinging it around, trying to poke someone in the face with it. Hits once. Wounds. Save. Save made. Okay. Right then. Power Fists really are a must-have when you're playing a Marine army against another Marine army, aren't they, really? The 2 damage allowing you to kill a Marine with every wound. It's very, very useful. Very useful indeed. But anyway, that's everything pretty much concluded. Morale. You, sir. 3. I think he's fine. You guys over here, there's 2 of you left. I think there were 6 of you to start with, so you've lost 4. That makes you an 8, but you're Black Legion, so you are fine. Good. Right, that's the word bearer's turn 3 done. The writing's on the wall at this point. That much is obvious. There's 1 Black Legionnaire left there. There's 2 left there. And there's a guy over here with the prize still. We're now going to head into Black Legion turn 4. All they have to do is retain control of the prize for this turn coming up and the one after that. That's all they got to do, and they will win. So, it's not quite over just yet, is it? Really? So here we go. Black Legion turn 4. Alright, my invade's done. Only one thing moved. This guy got a massive 6 on his advance roll. Lucky bastard. Has made it all the way over here. Hopped over this barricade and has made himself quite firmly ensconced behind it. So even if someone does want to take a pot shot at him, he'll have a 2+ save for being in cover. Sensible move, admittedly. Very sensible move. Meanwhile, they've said in combat, this champion is surrounded and is about to go out in a blaze of glory. At least that's what he hopes, anyway. Maybe the Chaos Gods will be kind to him. Maybe. Maybe they won't. The Chaos Gods have not been particularly kind to the Black Legion today whatsoever, really. But maybe Tzeentch will have the last laugh over here. Who knows? Anyway. So, movement done. Shoot in. Shoot in, shoot in, shoot in. A couple of pistols over here. Let's do that. 1 hit. No wound. Pistol over here. I'm going to shoot Tal'Ezra in the face. Hits. Doesn't wound. Shooting phase. Done. That was nice and quick. Charge phase. No charges. Fight phase. Word bearers will unfortunately go first. And I think what's going to happen is these guys are going to go first. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So, 1, 2, 3 attacks for the regular plebs. 2 for the champion with power axe. 2 hits. 2 wounds. 1 failed save. Somebody's on only a wound remaining. Where are the wound dice gone? I'm out of wound dice. Whatever, just use one of these. You're on a wound. Right, Black Legion's turn. Boom. Over here, the champion is going to try and smack Tal'Ezra in the face. That's what's going to happen. 2 hits. No wounds. Bad luck. Alright, Tal'Ezra's turn to smack him in the face. 4 attacks. Misses with the 2. Wounds twice. 2 saves. The champion makes them both. Right, Possessed up next. He gets 3 attacks. He hits twice. Actually, you can reroll that one because Tal'Ezra's there. Oh, that's mega cocked. He wounds twice. 5 up saves. Oh, okay. He takes 1 wound. That champion has taken a wound. He's not actually dead though yet. There we go. Right, next up the other Chaos Marines. Let's start with the champion with the power fist up there. Actually, I don't know why I rolled 3 dice. He only gets 2 attacks at the moment. Alright, 2 hits. 1 wound. Doesn't save. Alright, the Black Legion champion is finally cut down. After a whole warband of word bearers had to do it. You know, they took their sweet time killing him, didn't they? Alright, that's done. Now over here. 2 attacks from the champion with power fist. 1 hit. 1 wound. Failed save. Dead word bearer. The other chap with the las cannon, poking someone in the face with it, hits. Doesn't wound. Alright. Okay. That's it. That's the Black Legion turn done. Black Legion turn 4 over. Morale, there isn't any. So Wordbearer's turn 4. Alright, that's the Wordbearer's turn 4 movement phase done. Well, this is what's happened. Bit of a feeding frenzy, really. Jadar and his possessed buddy ran over here, climbed up over the crate, then advanced. He got a dreadful advance roll of, I think, 2. Jadar got one of 6. So he's made it over here. He's the closest to the enemy target. Unfortunately, though, because he advanced, he can't charge, which does mean that this poor Black Legion Chaos Marine will have an opportunity, potentially, to turn around and shoot Jadar in the face with a melter gun. And he's got 4 wounds left as Jadar, so it's perfectly reasonable that you might actually stand a good chance of killing him. However, he doesn't care. The demon within him is on the hunt. It smells blood in the water. Everyone who was over here has also moved this way. Some of them managed to get on top of the crates. Again, making advance rolls, everybody over there. And these guys moved in advance, but not very far. And these guys remained in combat with the Black Legion. So, shooting! Shooting, shooting, shooting. Shooting. There's not a lot of it I can do, really. Is this flamer in range of him? Let me check. Oh, he is. By like a fraction of an inch, but he is. And it's an assault weapon, so it can still shoot it even after assaulting. So, 3 auto hits. Wounded on 4s. Should have Veterans of the Long Ward this, but never mind. I kind of forgot. Not that it would have made a difference anyway, actually, though, so. 2 saves to make, 2+, because this chap is in cover behind those barricades. Bosses them both on a 6. Nicely done. Pistols shooting over here in combat. There are actually only 2 pistols, because the champion doesn't have a pistol. He swapped it for a power axe. So, 2 pistols. Both hit. Neither of them wound, though. These 2 Black Legionnaires holding the line quite fantastically over there. That's all the shooting. Talisman can't actually see this guy, and I don't think he's in range anyway, so. Right. Shooting done. Charging. Can't do any charging. Everyone else advanced. They can't charge. Fighting. Wordbearers get to strike first over here. So, 2 regular pleb attacks. One of them wounds. Can the save be made? No. Las Cannon Black Legion guy is dead. Champion with power axe. He hits once. He wounds once. 5-up save is not made. The Black Legion champion takes a wound, but lives. He has 2 attacks in response with his power fist. He hits once. Oh, what's it called? Let's use. Why can I never remember the name of it? Let the Galaxy Burn. That's it. So let's re-roll that one. Misses anyway. Never mind. Does it wound? Yes, it does. Do the Wordbearers save it? Yes, they do, actually. Okay. No kills over there, then. Right, that's it. That's Wordbearers done. No morale of any note. Over to Black Legion, turn 5. Now, where I need to have a serious think about what the best thing to do with this lone melter dude actually is right now. Alright, this is what I've done. He rolled an advance roll. He got a 6. I'm not making it up. I even left the dice there for you. He rolled a 6. He's moved all the way around here, which isn't actually as far as he could have gone. He could have gone a bit further this way. However, he would have still been in range to get shot at by bolt guns, and then he wouldn't have a cover save. So his chances of survivability, I figured, are probably best if he went around like this, stays in cover there, fires a shot at Jadar, who's probably the most dangerous threat to him right now. Hopefully, kill him with the melter gun, and then, try his best to dodge and duck away from any incoming bolter shots. And if he can do that, he's won it. So, Movement phase done. Shooting phase. He has advanced. There's a -1 to hit with this. So he's going to shoot his melter gun at Jadar, who is just in range. Measured it up already. 4 to hit. Last command points are going to be spent on Let the Galaxy Burn and also Veterans of the Long War. So he can still wound Jadar on a 2. Alright. Needs a 4 to hit. Gets a 6. Needs a 2 to wound. He wounds. D6 damage. Well, the gods of the dice are cruel sometimes. There it is, folks. Only 1 damage. Well, actually, I was supposed to roll the save before I did that. Alright, does he save it? 5+ invulnerable save? No, he doesn't. Right, so 1 damage on Jadar, unfortunately. 3 wounds. He is not killed. The melter shot just cannot bring down that demonic monstrosity. It cannot be done, it seems. Right, that's the shooting done. Obviously no charging, so there it is. Word Bearers turn 5, the final turn of the game. Can they kill this guy and take the objective? Or are they just going to have to settle for killing him and it being a draw? Or are they just going to get very unlucky and not kill him and the Black Legion win? Who freaking knows? Alright, final turn of the game. Here we are, movement phase done. Jadar has moved his full 7 inches up this way. He's within striking distance. The rest of them have hopped over those crates. Some of them may be able to take pot shots with their bolters. This lesser possessed has moved up behind Jadar, lagging a little further behind. This squad of Marines has moved over here. These guys are still in combat with this fella. And unfortunately, though, because of this drop pod getting in the way, only this Marine, the Beaky, and this plasma gunner can actually see the lone Black Legionnaire, so they're the only ones that are going to actually have a chance to shoot at him. Colin, stop playing with the charger cable. Please. I need it to have the camera not die, because it's on 4% battery. I'll feed you in a bit. Calm down. Right. So, movement done. Shooting. Shooting. Let's start with these guys over here then. So, 1 shot from the bolt gunner. Hits. Doesn't wound. The plasma gunner, 1 shot, not overcharging. Hits. Does wound. 5 up save on you because you're in cover. This is it, folks. This could be the end. It is. It's all over. He's down. But, rather crucially, because he was felled to shooting, there is nobody for Jadar to charge. Which means that the game ends with the vortex grenades out in the open. Nobody is within range to control them as a regular objective. And so the game is effectively a draw. I like to think that perhaps what's happened is that last plasma gunner was like, oh yes, I'm going to get him. Right, here we go. Loads up his plasma, fires a shot, not paying any attention to what's going on over here. Fires his shot, goes in, goes straight through this lad, and then it hits the crate of vortex grenades, and they go off. Big explosion, big warp portal, stuff gets all sucked into it like so. Jadar almost gets sucked into it, but he's part demon, so he's alright. And that's how this story ends, with this one Black Legion champion over here who, he'll either be cut down on the spot, or perhaps he'll appeal to their better nature. I mean, who are we talking? These are word bearers. No, he's dead. This poor guy's screwed. And that's it. So, a moral victory for the word bearers, perhaps. They did slay in entirety the Black Legion Warband, including their upstart exalted champion. But they didn't get what they actually came here for in the first place, which was those vortex grenades. So, bit of mixed success there. On the bright side, though, if nothing else, they've shown the Black Legion who truly has the favour of the Pantheon at the end of the day. These upstart Black Legion fools? No. It is the first heretics that are the truest heretics, are they not? Well, Tal Ezra's going to take his lads and go home, get some more reinforcements, and then, after that brief little domestic squabble, it'll be back to killing servants of the false emperor. Ladies and gents, hope you've enjoyed watching this. I enjoyed it. It came quite close in the end, actually. I was impressed. I very much enjoyed it. The Black Legion had the worst of it today, that much is obvious. I think what really went wrong for them was two things. One was getting quite unlucky with this fight over here in the bunker, and the other was basically meeting the unstoppable object that is Jeddah in the middle. That was... Cat is scratching his litter tray in the corner, in case you're wondering what the noise is. Yeah, Jeddah was the MVP for the Word Bearers. He kind of won them the game by just swinging the central confrontation in their favour. And from there it all kind of spiraled downhill for the Black Legion. I was amazed at how far this chap actually managed to get in the end with his one wound. I'm a little amazed, considering he was over here surrounded by enemies at one point, and he managed to make it all the way over here with some very lucky advance rolls. So, but eventually, of course, his luck did actually run out. So yeah, not bad, not bad. First outing of the Black Legion on the channel. They, all things considered, they did alright for themselves. I am a little bit surprised at the result being quite as one-sided as it seemingly was. Especially when you consider the fact that, thanks to stratagems and stuff, pound for pound, the Black Legionaries are better than the Word Bearers. You know, the Word Bearers don't have access to that wonderful Let the Galaxy Burn stratagem, which is a big deal. And it did some work for the Black Legion today in certain circumstances. But yeah, I'm sure there's things I could have done differently. I've never claimed to be any good at this game at the end of the day. I just play the way the story makes sense and play the way that my addled brain thinks it should be played, and I make the best job of it. There's always someone in the comments who tells me, oh, you're an idiot general, you made it so that one side was obviously going to win versus the other. And I tell you, I genuinely don't do that. I spend a slightly unreasonable amount of time trying my best to make sure the games are balanced, because I don't want to know what the outcome's going to be. Generally speaking, I want to be surprised as much as you guys, otherwise what would be the point in playing it, right? But yeah. Them's the breaks. Colin's playing with his balls again. Because he's restless, he wants food and he wants to play. He's woken up now and he's out and about and he wants to do stuff. So I'm going to have to go take care of him. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. I don't do these battle reports for profit, so to speak. I spend way too much money on this hobby to ever make it back through things like ad revenue and what have you. Please stop playing with the cable, Colin. But if you'd like to chuck me a few bucks a month on Patreon to help pay for Colin's cat food, please do so. And if you're not interested in doing that, then give me a like and a subscribe down at the bottom there. I don't ask for this very often. I haven't for years because I always found it quite annoying as a viewer myself. But it does actually work. It actually does work. Like, the science has proven that asking people to like and subscribe actually works. So I'm going to try and make a mental note to do it more often in the future. So anyway, that's it, folks. Yep. Catch you in the next one. Toodaloo.